Ndewo na Ndinkem, Igbo bye. So I want to welcome every one of us to my channel, and for today's topic I'm going to be talking about Ogbanje. Ogbanje. Like there is so many misconceptions or so many interpretations of what Ogbanje is. Who is an Ogbanje? Am I an Ogbanje? Like every single one of us have this question. So I'm going to start by telling us that most of these concepts like Ogbanje, Awo, all these concepts, they are not just a real manifestation of some cosmic force. These are also how our ancestors tried to interpret some certain things. So you can say Ogbanje is superstitious, or you can say it's the real thing. Because these days now, the people will try to insult you, or let me rephrase, they want to insult me by saying that I'm talking about ancestral veneration, I'm talking about ordinary. Is it not our ancestors that classified Ogbanje, sickle cell as Ogbanje? Children were dying of sickle cell, and our ancestors looked at them and were very scared of them and gave them that name Ogbanje, and and all the rest of the thing that they tried to attach to this thing now being Ogbanje. But the question I have for them is that most of these stories via Ogbanje that we've heard so many times, they will tell you that what happens here is that if, because our people have this saying, Ogbanje funafugo ebe osiwe ebiowa uzueki, when Ogbanje sees that we've known where it comes from, ebo siwe ebiowa, it will be it will not really want to die, or it will not really want to leave us again. That's how they interpret it. So when people look at, they say Ogbanje is a sickle cell, and our illiterate ancestors or ignorant ancestors called it Ogbanje. I have these questions here because they tell you that once they've identified that somebody is an Ogbanje, they give it a mark. Then that mark would either prevent that child from dying, or the child comes back to life and still have those same marks. So how would they now try to explain it? Or would the white man now tell us that sickle cells were also, children with sickle cells were also marked, and they come back to life and they still have that same mark? So that's the question I put forward to them. So to an extent, it's all about ignorance. It's all about trying to demonize every interpretation, everything our ancestors saw and understood. It's a conscious effort, not just by the white man, but the conscious effort on our own part. Because I believe that we're no longer interested in civilization. What we're actually more interested in is in westernization. You have to westernize. So from westernization, you will now look vibrant, you now become somebody literate. So I'm going to be talking about Ogbanje. I'm going to be explaining what Ogbanje is. Then maybe at the end of the video, you'll be able to decipher, you'll be able to tell me what your thoughts are. And if you have any post description or any topic or any concepts that you want me to talk about, also let me know via the comment section. So let's talk about this topic, Ogbanje. So the current interpretation that we have now about what an Ogbanje is they look at Ogbanje as an evil spirit that manifests as a child, which is the children that we talk about. Evil spirit is actually a Christian terminology. An evil spirit that afflicts or that manifests as a child, that would deliberately plague a family with misfortune. Now, when they talk about misfortune, this could mean that the child will be constantly sick, and when that child is chronically sick, then it will now make the parents to be running helter-skelter, trying to get funds to treat the child or to pay for medical bills and the rest of it. Now, if a child is born and they keep continuously paying for medical bills, then the tendency is that the family will not have enough to save, and the rest of it. So this actually means that they look at having different types of misfortune. Now, this misfortune is not just about the child being sick, but also, misfortune means like financial setbacks and problems of whatever, category or marks. Now, another thing that I said, they believe that these children or these people that refer to Ogbanje, they live a rapidly and a repeatedly kind of life. Now, rapidly means that they don't exist or they don't last for a very long time. They live to die. That's why they also call them born to die. These children live, and they live for just a short amount of period, and they go back to wherever they are coming from. Now, another interpretation that we have to look at is Ogbanje is actually a collection of spirits that come into this life or into this world at a particular time with purpose and intentions of what to do when they get here, what to eat, and when to die. Now, they've decided before entering into this world that they're going to live their life and also die within a certain kind of period. Now, these are also the different interpretations of what an Ogbanje is. Now, another interpretation of Ogbanje is that every single human being or everyone is an Ogbanje due to reincarnation. So for an Igbo man, because that our ancestral beliefs or that our belief is focused on the concept of reincarnation, this actually makes each and every one of us Ogbanje. We have this tendency to live, die, reincarnate until we're able to fulfill our cosmic purpose, which will now usher us or move us into immortality. So this now makes sense when I say that every individual, every human being, it's an Ogbanje. Because we can reincarnate, or because our ancestors believes in this concept of reincarnation, Ogbanje becomes Ogbanje, something that goes, something that returns, something that evolves. So this is what I refer to, and I look at it and I said, okay, every single human being is an Ogbanje. Since our ancestors believes in reincarnation, this also means that Ogbanje is not just limited to a certain individual or certain children or people within a certain age limit. Now, I classified Ogbanje as a collection of spirits that have vowed to die or live their life in a certain kind of way and to die at a certain number of time. Now, if you're an Igbo, if you're a traditionalist or you believe in Igbo spirituality, you would have come across the concept of Ndi-otu. Now, Ndi-otu actually functions as the same thing with Ogbanje. So you see people, they make prayers and they say Ndi-otu Ogbanje or Ndi-otu Mmiri. Now, these are two separate concepts. But I'm referring to Ndi-otu. Now, a collection of a group of spirits here are the same thing we say Ndi-otu. So this also supports my argument when I say that every single one of us are actually Ogbanje. Now, the difference here is that there are benevolent and malevolent aspects of these things. Now, the malevolent aspect of Ogbanje are Ogbanje or individuals or children with the intention of revenge. Their essence or their reason for reincarnation is just to enact one form of revenge or the other. They now becomes malevolent instead of being benevolent. Now, why would they now decide to inflict or afflict a family or reincarnate with the purpose of revenge? Obviously, we have things like this because probably an entity or a spirit within a family, a woman's spirit, was maltreated, which resulted to her untimely death. She can vow to afflict that family with child mortality. Now, what she would do here is to continuously reincarnating into that family and present itself as an Ogbanje, until that family is able to, ask the necessary questions through Afa and identify why this thing is happening in their family. Now, what they will do here is to identify, okay, this is an Ogbanje. This is the reason why this Ogbanje is troubling our family. Now, once they've reconciled with that fact, they would have to first of all go and make peace with the cause of that Ogbanje into their family. Now, once they're done making peace, things becomes to get normal. Now, when the child have died within that period, now they give that child a single mark to identify. Now, our people have this saying, Ogbanje funa afugo ebo sewe biowa ozweke. Once that child has known, or once that Ogbanje essence has been appeased and it has been identified that this is actually an Ogbanje, now with that mark, that child reincarnates again, that child is also going to bear that mark. So this also makes no sense when people look at Ogbanje and they say that Ogbanje is actually sickle cell. Now, you have to understand that some of these concepts that we have in Igbo spirituality were because our ancestors tried to interpret a certain phenomenon. That does not mean that they are not right in some of the things that they've structured. Some of their structured, or some of the things that they have done and giving it another concept, is the same, happens to have the same functions when you cross-reference it in modern literature. So when people say that Ogbanje are actually children with sickle cell, there are so many instances or so many scenarios where their argument is quite illogical and just doesn't make sense. So Iuwa now is an intricate aspect of us as Igbos. Now it's not just an Ogbanje that has an Iuwa. Every individual has an Iuwa. Now the signing of this Iuwa is focused on the kind of life a person lived previously. For some people, because they lived or their husbands maltreated them, they will decide not to, get married in this current reincarnation. Some people, because they felt that they were, left aside or pushed aside because they didn't have some certain educational qualifications or degree. Now, in this current reincarnation, you know that they are going to be extremely smart individuals. They could even learn to read and write as early as 1 year, 2 years. They will show interest in books. They will show interest in academia. Now, Iuwa is actually based on the person's previous reincarnation. This is a general concept. So every individual has their Iuwa. Now, in situations where we feel that this Iuwa is not serving the right purpose, because some people with this kind of Iuwa probably in this current reincarnation meets a man who is loving and caring, and they decide to settle down, and forgetting their cosmic oath, it now becomes a problem. This would now lead them to go to Afa, and Afa will recommend Igbo Iuwa or any other processes how they used to eliminate or resign this cosmic contract. Now for an Ogbanje, this Iuwa becomes a theta for them. It holds them to this plane. It's a connection that they have from that other realm to this particular realm. So what they do here is to dig out this Iuwa that is belonging to a particular Ogbanje in order to free that person from their cosmic oaths. Now, these kinds of people now it's only possible for people who have gotten to the age of maturity, or one who has gotten to the age of maturity, even as a child, but you're able to they perform the necessary ritual. Not really as a toddler or as an infant, it will not be possible for them because they are still kids. So once some Ogbanje has lived their life and gotten to a certain maybe an adult life, and such thing occurs. Now, maybe it has gotten to the point where the person have sworn that he or she would go back to or join the other part of his or her Ndi-otu. It will now becomes a problem, because that cosmic oath would now hold that person to try to to drain the life out of the person and try to move that person back. So Iuwa now has to be some sort of a theta which needs to be severed for that individual to actually live their life free of Ogbanje, or free from that cosmic oath or cosmic contract. Now, another reason for these people or this Ogbanje and their Iuwa, it also serves as a form of agreement for them. To them here now, they will tell you that Ogbanje na be ingu Iuwa. You would have to agree. This is the kind of life that you want to live. You want to live a life that's you will not stress you. You want to be beautiful, and you now reincarnate, or when you're now born, you see yourself to be an ugly person. The child will definitely die. Now, some of them will now want to live a life where they don't want to work, where they don't want to be stressed by life. Now, once they are born into a poor family, that's not their cosmic agreement. Then that means they are going to want to die. So what our people will do is, when they've observed and they've noted this is an Ogbanje child, they begin to try to make efforts to make sure that this child stays. So some, they start giving the child names, beautiful names, Echikama or Wakama, names that will make that child want to stay with the living and wouldn't want to join the other parts of the Ogbanje or the other Ndi-otu back to the land of the spirits. But once they give them these names, they'll try to provide for shower the child with so much love that the child would not even want to return back. So this would even prompt that child to basically reveal where his or her Iuwa has been hidden, for them to dig it out and to free or to sever this connection that child have with that other people. Now, as a child, children have these high sensitive antennas that allows them to see things that a normal adult would not see. Now, as a child Ogbanje, you see them talking to people, not just themselves. Now, once you ask them, they'll give you a correct or a description of the person they're talking to. Now, this means that child is no longer talking to him or herself. The child is communicating with other Ogbanje entities or other Ogbanje spirits. Now, I want us to understand here, Ogbanje is not necessarily good and not necessarily evil. Now, you need to know how to handle Ogbanje spirit, Ogbanje essence, to basically, serve you or to serve you as the parents, to serve you as a human being. Just like Dada, when you have a Dada child, you would have to know how to handle that child properly, and this would allow that child to exist. This would allow that child to stay and wouldn't want to die. Marrying an Ogbanje doesn't necessarily have to be a death sentence. Now, we know that some of these things here, they could be out of some cosmic purpose, but there are ways or there are rituals that we can perform to make it to become benevolent to us instead of being malevolent. Let's look at spirit's wife. Let's look at Awo. If your wife has an Awo or has a spirit husband, and you don't actually do the necessary rites or rituals, then those things are going to fight you in that marriage. If it is the woman, if it is the man, it's just going to be fighting you both and causing issues. But if you're able to treat it right, if you're able to identify the root cause of that problem, you can actually be able to salvage that situation. That's why our ancestors believe that and that's why Idris is actually important in our culture and cosmology. Now, once you've gotten married to a woman or a man, and you feel that your life kind of drained, or your life becomes some kind of has started having issues, whether in business or your interpersonal relationship with other people, it becomes a problem. Then there is a need to that you've gotten married to maybe an Ogbanje or to a person with some sort of a cosmic attachment. So what you will do is to go through the process of Alpha to basically know the root cause, or to know the reason why this stuff is troubling you, or why you're going down in business or any other part of your life. So once you identify and they say your wife or your husband is an Ogbanje, and this is the person's cosmic oath Iyuwa, and that's why you're having this problem. Now you've identified the root cause. Now the Dibia or the shaman would now specify the necessary rituals or rites for you to perform to get things on track. So marrying an Ogbanje is not a death sentence, but ignoring it, that's what becomes a death sentence. Sometimes we look at problems attached to Ogbanje as being, as it being very problematic, forgetting that there are also benefits attached to having an Ogbanje. We have Ogbanje who are, interested in music, Ogbanje, Ogbanje this, Ogbanje, just like we have different specifications of Awu. That's the same way we have this. So you can meet an Ogbanje who happens to be a psychic, an empath, or even a very creative individual. So if you're able to, touch up or to, adjust or beautify that Ogbanje essence, or Ogbanje aspect of that child, refine it, it's going to work for you instead of being benevolent. But Ogbanje, the only problem associated with it is they're always chronically sick. Now, them being sick is a way for them to just, exist, to die. So they have to get sick. They just don't wake up and die, but they have to get sick. They are always constantly sick. Now, most of these I look at them as more of symptoms. Being a child being sick, or you gave birth to a child and you're probably, there are symptoms. And once you have symptoms, they are actually a cause. So when you start having these symptoms, then you need to go through Alpha to identify the root cause, and for you to be able to, solve this problem of Ogbanje. So to conclude this video, I would like us to know one thing, and it's that Ogbanje, or this Ogbanje phenomenon, has nothing to do with children being sickle cell. It may have been over exaggerated, but they are not sickle cell, or they don't have anything to do with sickle cell. Now, after asked this question before, if these people or if these children are actually sicklers, now what happened to them when they now come back to life with that same mark that was used to identify them in their previous carnation? Now, what happens? Then the second thing I want us to consider, if these children are actually sickle cell, are what now happened where this kind of children now, when they've identified that this is an Ogbanje that's troubling this family, they perform some certain rituals and the child, exist, or the child would not die. So these are questions I try to push forward now, and I don't know if anybody is going to answer back, but these are questions I try to push out there, and I hope that some person picks it up and have a different interpretation of what an Ogbanje is. Now, this Ogbanje phenomenon is actually a hard one to interpret. It's a hard one to actually explain. But just know that we are all Ogbanje, and Ogbanje has different aspects of it. So guys, I'm here at the end of this video, and if you like this video, please subscribe, and I would like to answer some of your questions. And until next time, yeah guys, yeah.